It's always about timing. If it's too soon, no one understands. If it's too late, everyone's forgotten. Fashion's not about looking back. It's always about looking forward. Fashion goes in only one direction, forward, and I am a firm believer in thinking that way too. Fashion is a reflection of the time. Just dress better. Create your own style, let it be unique for yourself and yet identifiable for others. Even if you aren't sure of yourself, pretend that you are. Most people prevaricate. Create your own individual style. I'm not interested in the girl who walks into my office in a head-to-toe label look that's straight off the runway. I'm interested in a girl who puts herself together in an original, independent way. Don't run before you can crawl. It's a very hard business, full of many extremely creative, talented people who work hard and still fail. If you have the basic building blocks behind you, you're much more likely to do well. If one comes across sometimes as being cold or brusque, it's simply because I'm striving for the best. Just be true to yourself, and listen as much as one is able to other people whose opinions you respect and look up to, but in the end, it has to come from you. I learned how important it is to lead and be decisive and to, in a way, empower other people to do their best. We have to reflect the world that we live in. It is so important for designers not to run scared, and not to be too worried about what's safe and what's commercial. In today's world you have to interact. You can't be some difficult, shy person who is not able to look somebody in the face. You have to present yourself. You have to know how to talk about your vision, your focus and what you believe in. I don't really follow market research. In the end, I respond to my own instincts. You can't really worry too much by looking to the left and the right about what the competition is doing or what other people in your field are doing. It has to be a true vision. If you're an overnight sensation, you can be yesterday's news in no time. Whereas building something slowly and carefully that has value and quality, that's what's going to have legs. Go get a job. Whether it's working as a designer or working in a restaurant and then doing your own thing in your own time, it's a reality of life. In the end, it's going to be helpful to you and so many others. I think possibly what people working for one hate the most is indecision. Even if I'm completely unsure, I'll pretend I know exactly what I'm talking about and make a decision. I'm very good at delegating. People work much better when they have a real sense of responsibility. I surround myself with a talented group of people that are opinionated and interesting. I try to remain very open to what others have to say. I wasn't academically successful, and maybe I've spent a lot of my career trying to make up for that. I'm very driven by what I do. I am certainly very competitive. I like people who represent the best at what they do, and if that turns you into a perfectionist, then maybe I am. There is no typical day. Every day is different, and that's why it's fun. Many things are routine deadlines, certain meetings, but you never really know what's going to happen. You just need to have a love for what you're doing. It's not about thinking that it's the cool thing, it's about really believing in it. Everyone should get sacked at least once. It forces you to look at yourself. It is important to have setbacks because that is the reality of life. I look for strong people. I don't like people who'll say yes to everything I might bring up. I want people who can argue and disagree and have a point of view that's reflected in the magazine. When I hear a company is being run by a team, my heart sinks, because you need to have that leader with a vision and heart that can move things forward. Dame Anna Wintour, born the 3rd of November 1949, was born in Hampstead, London, to Charles Wintour (1917–1999), editor of the Evening Standard, and Eleanor Nani Trego Baker (1917–1995), an American, the daughter of a Harvard Law School professor. Her parents were married in 1940 and divorced in 1979. Wintour was named after her maternal grandmother, Anna Baker Gilkison, a merchant's daughter from Pennsylvania. Audrey Slaughter, a magazine editor who founded publications such as Honey and Petticoat, is her stepmother. Wintour's grandfather was Major General Fitzgerald Wintour, a British military officer and descendant of Prime Minister George Grenville. Through her paternal grandmother, Alice Jane Blanche Foster, Wintour is a great-great-great-granddaughter of the late 18th century novelist Lady Elizabeth Foster. Later the Duchess of Devonshire, and her first husband, the Irish politician John Thomas Foster. Her great-great-grandfather was Frederick Hervey, 4th Earl of Bristol, who served as the Anglican Bishop of Derry. Sir Augustus Vere Foster, 4th Baronet, the last baronet of that name, was a granduncle of Wintour's. She is a niece of Cordelia James, Baroness James of Racunshopee, daughter of Fitzgerald Wintour. Anna Wintour is a British media executive based in New York City who has served as editor-in-chief of Vogue since 1988 and global chief content officer for Condé Nast since 2020. She is also the artistic director of Condé Nast and the global editorial director of Vogue. With her trademark page boy bob haircut and dark sunglasses, Wintour has become an important figure in much of the fashion world, praised for her eye for emerging fashion trends. Her reportedly aloof and demanding personality has earned her the nickname, Nuclear Wintour. She became interested in fashion as a teenager. Her career in fashion journalism began at 2 British magazines. Later, she moved to the U.S., with stints at New York and House & Garden. She returned to London and was the editor of British Vogue between 1985 and 1987. A year later, she assumed control of the franchise's magazine in New York, reviving what many saw as a stagnating publication. Her use of the magazine to shape the fashion industry has been the subject of debate within it. Animal rights activists have attacked her for promoting fur, while other critics have charged her with using the magazine to promote elitist views of femininity and beauty. A former personal assistant, Lauren Weisberger, wrote the 2003 best-selling roman A Clef The Devil Wears Prada, later made into a successful 2006 film starring Meryl Streep as Miranda Priestley, a fashion editor, believed to be based on Wintour. In 2009, Wintour was the focus of a documentary film, R.J. Cutler's The September issue.